I feel bad that we missed that. That was the worst joke, and I feel like we wasted it. No. Oh.
In a world where colons are illegal, how do we poop? Oh.
Oh boy. Okay. Thank you, Malix, for showing me that in Discord, and now I can't. Yeah, okay. I can't focus on anything else. Thanks, Malix. Great. Good stuff. Podcast. We're here. Hi, everybody. Yay.
How do they poop?
How tired are you that I broke you with that?
I don't know.
Some really philosophical subjects here at the Fandom Flux podcast this week.
Just the way you said poop.
Okay. So, I'm Casey. How's it going? Deep philosophical thinker. So deep, it's all out in your guts, I guess.
Everybody talks about the large intestine, the small intestine. What about the medium intestine? Nobody talks about the medium.
Medium intestine is the ghost intestine. You don't have a medium intestine until you die.
Well, I'm Zero. Hi.
Slicer is also here, I guess.
I exist as well.
Yeah, okay.
Somehow not obsessed with intestines.
You need more guts.
I guess so.
This is a weird day. This is a weird day.
So today is it's like spring break this week for the schools and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure that means a whole hell of a lot when they haven't been in school for months, but,
But it means that, like, as a substitute teacher, I just have a whole bunch of downtime now.
Yeah.
Because I can't work. And then my parents were like, we're going to go out for our anniversary on a long trip to, like, Cabo. So you'll be in Mexico. Take care of the dog. And I'm like, okay. So I have the entire house to myself.
You're naked right now, aren't you?
I am fully clothed.
I feel you're not
I'm
taking
not that
advantage
type of
of
person.
being alone.
I've been being responsible, taking care of the dog, cleaning up after myself,
Okay.
talking to myself a lot.
Having a dog
Yeah,
makes
happens.
it make more sense for you to not be naked. I would not want to be naked around pets. Not for any practical reason, I just think they would judge me.
They would.
They don't. But, alright.
But yeah, my 2 weeks have passed since my second vaccination, so I'm basically fully immune, at least as full as I can be.
Yeah.
So hey, that's good news.
Yay! You can technically go out and do things, though you still probably shouldn't.
I also recently just watched with Dawn, Avengers Endgame, which Dawn had never seen any of the, like, MCU movies except for Iron Man 1 and Spider-Man Homecoming, which two kind of odd things I've only seen.
Yeah.
So we went through the entirety of the MCU movies up until Endgame. And doing that, like, week after week after week, every weekend, and finally reaching the end, I haven't. I have a newfound appreciation for a lot of those movies I didn't have before.
Hmm.
It's the sort of thing where when you have somebody in the room who's like genuinely interested in what's happening and is like hype when those things happen, and you don't have the like months upon months of build up or waiting or lead up to something that like that affects your expectations. So just watching them all back to back, I actually liked a lot of them more than I used to.
Hmm.
Makes sense.
Like it strikes me just how funny the Ant-Man movies are.
I still never saw the second one.
Yeah.
And like having watched everything back to back, I actually really liked Ant-Man 2. Whereas the first time I'd seen it, I had a lot of complaints about it, and I was like, it's okay, but it's forgettable.
I've forgotten what Ant-Man 2. I don't even know if I've seen Ant-Man 2. Wait, Ant-Man 2 is the one where they do like the quantum stuff, right?
Yes.
They do a bit of quantum stuff in one, but that's where they go full into the quantum stuff.
Okay, yeah. So I have seen Ant-Man 2. Yeah, I best thing to come out of the Ant-Man films is that guy whose name I don't know, the Latino guy who has
The
that
guy who
long
plays
speech,
Luis.
that long speech to catch up Ant-Man
Yeah,
on what's been going on. That
he's
was
the
really
best.
good. Yeah, I love that
But I
scene.
just having gone through all of them, it's just like, yeah, no, they had a solid run. Like even at their weakest, those movies were still okay and still generally like enjoyable to watch.
It's kind of
Especially when you're doing like
crazy.
a yeah.
It's kind of crazy to think they had all those films, and since Endgame, has there been anything but Far From Home?
Um, all we've been doing is the Disney Plus shows, but in about a month is the Black Widow movie. And then after that they got a bunch of movies coming out this year, but COVID really stopped them like
Yeah,
dead in their tracks
yeah.
and delayed Doctor Strange by like I think 2 years,
Yeah.
which is a shame.
It
But
is. But, yeah.
it's all really just consistently good, and I was really astonished by that. Of just yeah, no, the only one that I genuinely could not tolerate was Thor 2.
That's everyone. Yeah. Poor
I
Christopher
didn't
Eccleston.
really
He
mind
got.
that one, but I haven't seen it recently, so
I went back and because I had been watching again with Don, and when we started it about 20 minutes in, Don's like, "Can we stop?" And it's like, "Yeah, we've been watching it for 20 minutes, and all Thor has been doing is moping around about his girlfriend."
I feel really bad for Christopher Eccleston. I really like him as an actor. He's quite good, but it's a fucking big movie break where he's the villain in a Marvel film and he gets nothing. He gets nothing to work with. Just I am big evil man. Well, he's a dark elf, but so not really big. But he still like I am evil man doing evil thing, and I don't really get any lines. Nothing to work with. I feel really bad.
And then you get to the part in Endgame where Thor is drunkenly explaining the Dark Elves, and everybody's just like, okay, okay, Thor. But yeah, it was really interesting to see all of that, and it made me really excited to continue to watch stuff and really excited for what comes next. But on that topic, I did go and see the first episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
yeah, I saw that one
Yay.
too. It was okay.
That was much better than I thought it was going to be.
That'll get you, definitely.
Because I'm gonna be completely honest. Falcon the Winter Soldier as just a name, and it's like I don't really have that much of an interest in that. But the way they are developing it, and I don't want to talk spoilers, but the there's some stuff in there that has me really interested in what's going to be going on with that particular show. Because it deals with an aspect. Cause the thing I've really gathered is like Spider-Man, Far From Home dealt with one aspect of the aftermath of Endgame. WandaVision deals with another aspect of the aftermath, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier deals with another aspect of the aftermath.
So far, it seems like Falcon, that show, deals with the economic and political aspect of things.
Oh,
But
that
it's hard to
sounds
tell which one
interesting.
aspect.
Like that
It's-
sounds like something you wouldn't expect them to ever go into. So I am now far more interested than I was, just hoping that Bucky Barnes would be the butt of every joke in the show for being such an edge boy. So, yeah.
And
Yes, his therapist does make several jokes
Yeah.
at his expense.
he goes to the therapist,
Yeah,
and that was very much needed for him.
his whole Bucky's whole deal is that he installed a bunch of politicians while he worked for Hydra, and he's like, "Yeah, we can't have that anymore." So he deals with them, and he's not supposed to because it breaks his rules.
And there's also like a whole group called the Flag Smashers, which, if you recognize that, that's a comic name for a villain called Flag Smasher. And
A little on the nose, but okay.
the way they're
I actually
Yeah?
I actually didn't know that. I didn't know there was a villain named that, but the organization seems interesting.
Yeah, the way the organization is set up is they want the world to go back to how it was during the blip, as they call it, where half the world was gone. And basically they had free reign over whatever.
Oh, so they're selfish jackass idiots. Cool.
Yes.
Oh my
So,
god, they're those Thanos did nothing wrong jerkwads. That's fucking great.
Yes, actually, yeah. The thing was that because of the huge population decrease and infrastructure breakdown, essentially, it's kind of implied that all countries kind of worked together, like borders disappeared, essentially. I don't know if that's actually true or if they're just like glorifying it, but that is the group's belief.
It did actually bring a bunch of unity to the world as a I wouldn't say unintended side effect because that's what Thanos wanted, but as a side effect.
But yeah, okay.
He was like, "Oh, we're going to make the world a better place," which, there was unity. So, I mean, that's better than what we had, but at the same time, at the cost of everybody.
Yeah, that was an accidental side effect, though. Thanos didn't actually care about that. He wasn't pulling a Lelouch trying to make an enemy for all of existence to rally against and unite against.
No. I'm not. Yeah.
That happened.
I'm speaking
but it wasn't what he was
less
doing
in how they
before.
united. I'm speaking less in how they united against him, but how they united with each other to survive and deal with the collapsing infrastructure of the world.
Yeah.
And the reallocation of resources. But yeah, it's a good show so far. I'm interested to see where it goes. On the same sort of superhero note, did anybody else see Zack Snyder's Justice League?
I did not.
I heard someone explain it to me.
Okay.
I've
Zack
heard
Snyder's
good things, which is more than I can say for the original Justice League.
Zack Snyder's Justice League is a 4-hour movie.
Okay.
It does not need to be 4 hours, but he made it 4 hours.
Okay.
There was a lot of downtime.
There are
or
quite a few
scenes that could have been made shorter.
There are quite a few scenes that can be made shorter, that can be cut. And
I would probably have said the same for Endgame, so fair enough.
the
Not a
issue
deal
is
breaker is
when
what I'm
most
saying
of
so
you,
far.
when all of your fight scenes have slow motion, and you're doing that for 3 hours, 4 hours, it gets really tiring.
Yeah, that's stupid. You don't do slow
And
motion.
that's
Overusing slow motion makes... It's the opposite of what you want to do for a fight scene. Like, slow down for like a split second for a super cool instant. Otherwise, no. Like, fight scenes, you want them to be punchy. Go figure.
90% of the time, the Flash is in a scene, he is in slow motion. Because that's how they portray his super speed, is everything else is in slow motion.
and running like an absolute jackass. I don't know why they did that. It's so bad. It's so terrible.
So, this all being said, with the benefit of multiple years of development and hindsight and extra filming and just extra time in general, Zack Snyder has managed to make a coherent movie. The characters are each solidly introduced. They have character arcs. It's not punched up with jokes. There's a little bit of humor. They have a good flow to the story. The villain doesn't look like a PS2 character, and is generally just more interesting. Like
Who is the villain in the Snyder Cut?
it's still Steppenwolf, but you also get to see Darkseid show up.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't actually fight or anything, but like he's very much being shown multiple times. It's like, this is the big guy for the next one, which will never happen.
Have we actually had word confirmation that Justice League is dead?
Yeah, yeah.
Most of the actors are like,
everybody's
please
walked.
just no.
Everybody's walked. There's no Justice League 2.
Ah.
Which is a shame because I actually liked it.
Which?
It had its own charm. I'll give you that.
I like the Zack Snyder cut Justice League because I like the DC characters. I like the DC universe. I have issues with the cinematic universe, but it did a good job setting up the characters and making sure they have arcs. Like Cyborg has a whole complete arc throughout the story. We get more stuff on Aquaman. We get more stuff on the Flash. We get more stuff on Wonder Woman. We get more stuff on Batman. Everybody gets just more character stuff. And I remember me and my dad were watching it, and every time we saw a new scene, we're like, this scene was needed. I mean, most of the time at least. There's this part near the beginning where Aquaman is swimming off, and then everybody starts singing, and I don't know why.
Yeah, that was one of the big things that the person explaining to me said. As that was just really stupid.
Did they sing Weller Man?
But no. If they did, the movie would be a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that would have been way too appropriate. They couldn't have done that.
But the special effects look better. The fight scenes look better, except for the ridiculous amount of slow-mo. And overall, it took like a 4 or a 3 out of 10 and made it into a solid 7.5 out of 10.
I feel like this whole experiment was just demonstrating exactly why they needed to copy the Marvel model even further and actually give these characters their own films.
Yes. Because you can feel it.
They kind of tried to shortcut it by just having them cameo in other people's TV show. At best.
Nobody watches that stuff on the CW.
The TV show is a different thing. Completely different, completely separate.
Oh.
In fact, that was a big complaint at the time when they were first putting this thing together, was like, hey, you have a Green Arrow and a Flash. You could just toss those in and that's done. You have the setup. And they were just like, nah, because we're movies and movies are better than TV.
Whereas in the case with Disney, what they're doing is, here's our shows featuring the characters from the movies. And I'm like, that's good. That's a continuation. That's more screen time for characters and gives you way more time to develop those characters. Because a TV show just, more runtime. It's not just trying to fit everything into 2 hours.
Yep.
And I got into a little bit of a debate earlier where it's just like a competent director can have a good movie and have it fit within a reasonable time span. You can't just add, 2 extra hours onto the movie to make it work. I understand it's like a band-aid for the issue that you don't have other movies for these characters. But come on.
I mean, anyone can tell a full story if you give them 6 hours to do it.
But at the same time,
it's efficient by any means.
But at the same time, the alternative is to have an incredibly fucking shallow movie. If you just wanted to fit into 2 hours and have a huge, well, not huge, but sizable ensemble cast, then you're going to have most of those characters be very shallow and uninteresting with nothing to do.
I mean, like Guardians of the Galaxy introduced like 5 or 6 different characters, and they all had a reasonable amount of screen time, and everybody loved them.
They all had a reasonable amount of screen time, but they all had roles that weren't expecting them to be center stage a lot. Like, Groot was there to say, I am Groot, and do something cool at the end. Rocket was there to do clever one-liners and talk shit to everyone. And was it Drax? Big guy, takes everything literally.
Mm-hmm.
Drax? Yeah. He was there to be the big guy that takes everything literally and not really have much of an arc for his character.
The big issue, I think, is this kind of something about this movie kind of pissed me off a little bit. And that's when the movie ends, I'm like, yeah. And it keeps going with teaser after teaser after teaser for thing, like 4 different times. And I'm like, oh, you really wanted this to be a thing.
Yeah, I can understand the logic. I can understand the desire. That was fucking studio mandate is what that was. We wanted to be Marvel, so we're going to have 18 teasers for other things we're going to do in the future, guys. You love Justice League, right? So that's why you're going to be... oh, wait, you hated Justice League. Oops.
It's just like... It's so unnecessary, some of this stuff. The post-credit scene for Avengers is they go out and eat shawarma. This isn't these teasers aren't post-credit scenes. They're after the actual end of the movie. We just throw on 5 extra scenes before we hit credits.
I'm trying to remember how they closed out Avengers in a larger sense than just, yes, the post-credit scene was shawarma, I know, but how they ended each character's story arc, and you're right, yes. They didn't really do any particular teasers. They had Thanos, he was a thing for like 3 seconds, and they had shawarma, and basically everything else was built out of how events in that film went. Iron Man 3 was about Tony's PTSD. Captain America was about Captain America being in the modern day when it wasn't quite so simple as punching out Nazis. And Thor, I forget, it was Thor 2 after Avengers, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They didn't really have.
Thor was going back to Asgard with Loki.
Yeah, I feel like they really should have just focused on the Thor and Loki thing instead of bringing out I don't even remember his name. I want to say Malakar. But yeah, so the films that came out after Avengers were all built out of the story arcs built in Avengers, so that makes sense. And I guess, yeah, just having stinger scene after stinger scene teasing things that they could do in the future that aren't really related to anything else is just kind of sloppy and cheap, I guess. Is what it sounds like as a person that never saw it.
Okay, I'll spoiler alert. After everything is settled and they all go their separate ways and they go and they find the Justice League Hall, and it's like, yeah, it's a start. Big round table, but room for more. And it's like, okay, I'm clapping. Okay, we're all finished. And then cut to dream of the apocalypse future. You know the apocalypse future where Superman is a bad guy?
Which one? There are several.
Anyway, the one they introduced in Batman v Superman.
Okay.
We have Batman in trench coat, leather jacket, trench coat, with this is after the one in which we have the teaser with Deathstroke and Lex Luthor. Because Lex Luthor escapes and hires Deathstroke to go hunt down Batman.
Lex Luthor.
Yeah, it's the same actor.
Mm-hmm.
So they do that scene, and then we go to the Apocalypse Dream where Batman's like teaming up with a bunch of heroes and villains, including the Joker. He's there. He's talking about a history that they have that we don't really know, but he's basically saying, oh yeah, it's all your fault, right? And he's being a creepy Joker thing, but not really telling a lot of jokes because it's the same Joker from Suicide Squad. And that lasts for like 5 minutes, that scene.
That tells me that at some point during filming for Justice League, or I forget chronological events of whether Justice League came first or not, but I feel like he played or watched the cutscenes for Injustice and was like, hey, that sounds like a cool idea.
And then Bad Superman shows up and they're like, oh no. And then Bruce wakes up and he hears some sort of sonic boom. There's somebody who flew by his house. He goes outside his house that has like all glass windows because he's rich, and down descends, having only shown up for 2 seconds in an added scene, Martian Manhunter, who then is like, I've been hiding for long enough. I'm in on your team. And Bruce is like, okay, sure, whatever, I guess we'll call you. And he's like, oh, and by the way, people have called me the Martian Manhunter, and he flies away.
That is the laziest character introduction I've ever heard.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen worse character introductions in fanfiction. Not a high bar.
And we also have a scene with Darkseid where he's like, well, I guess our easy way to ruin that planet isn't going to work, so I guess we'll do it the old way. Prepare the fleet.
Okay, Thanos.
Yeah, I know. I had the same reaction.
I'm trying really hard
But
to
you
find
do
out.
like scene after scene after scene after scene of that after you had a good ending, and it's just like, please stop. Please stop. I get that you wanted to do all this, but I like Martian Manhunter, but the implication is, oh, he's been there all along, just in hiding in disguise as these other characters, and I'm like, shut up.
Well,
Like,
at least it's the version of the film that everyone wanted to see. And generally, people think it's better than the one we got.
it is significantly better than the one we got. It is a complete movie that has character arcs, that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's a little bit pretentious with how it titles everything Part 1, and then Part 2, and with a little title. Part 3, Part 4, Part 5.
Yeah, it's a little dumb.
Yeah, it's about what I expected, though.
And, yeah, it's a weird case of this is a movie that is never going to have any of these teasers play out. We know it's never going to have any of these teasers play out. None of the cast is coming back. Everybody is sick of the damage this did to their reputation. And, you know, what you gonna do?
Poor Jason Momoa. That's another actor I really like that kind of... Does he get to do anything cool?
I mean, they're still working on another Aquaman.
Are they? Wow.
Yeah.
That's bold. Could rename
Yeah,
it to
they
the
are.
Aquaman Extended Universe. Or the Wonder Woman Extended
Yeah.
Universe.
You have Aquaman, you have Wonder Woman, you have TV shows, and
Here's an idea.
You
You know what
have
they
to-
should do? They should just make an Aquaman TV show and just have Jason Momoa be in that.
yeah, you know what? That would be nice. You have the new Batman starring
The guy
the new Batman.
starring Edward Cullen. I forget what his name is.
Let's see, who was the? It was it's on the tip of my tongue. It was Robert Pattinson.
That's the one, thank you. Yep. I couldn't think of it either, but yes.
So we have Robert Pattinson as Batman. We have the Flash movie, which is still going to happen, but it's not going to have Robert Pattinson Batman. Instead, it's going to have the Batman from Justice League.
No, it's not. Really? Are they getting Ben Affleck back? Is that happening?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, poor Ben Affleck. He
thought-
can't catch a break.
I thought he said no more.
Well, that was being made at the same time. It's just kind of been development hell as far as I'm aware. So, and then coming out this year, there is the Suicide Squad.
What?
Yeah. Is that the one that was James Gunn for a while? I don't know whether it still is.
It is James Gunn. So it's James Gunn's version of Suicide Squad, featuring a Harley who went through the original Suicide Squad and then the Birds of Prey, which Birds of Prey was still pretty good. So
Sorry, I'm still mad about Cassandra Cain. So yeah.
So it's a weird experience because it's just like, oh yeah, I watched all of the Marvel movies and then I watched the DC movie, and Yeah, there's no way you can like I honestly think their best bet was to just slowly release movies, and if they were to keep going, by the time Avengers has their lull after Endgame, then you have Justice League coming out, or like the second Justice League coming out.
I assume what the logic was is the way these superhero films work. There is a sudden and quick buzz about them, and then they die off, like really quickly, like within a few years. That wasn't happening for the Marvel films, but they expected it to happen. So they wanted to get in before, it all collapsed. So they didn't think they had time to try and build this stuff slowly, and just went for the big finish right away, hoping it'd just work and just wow people, get butts in seats, so to speak. And it worked. Let's be perfectly honest. Those films did well at the box office, well enough to make their money back and then some. But they could have had this go on for a lot longer and be better remembered. But they didn't think that was in the cards. So.
Just a bunch of poor decisions.
Missed opportunities.
But yeah, got onto a bit of a movie rampage because all that aside, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I did beat Persona 5 Strikers.
I haven't even fucking played it yet.
That is a good game with solid writing, fun gameplay. It's very much a sequel to Persona 5. I don't like the final boss. I just don't like the ending. Because it feels derivative of Persona 5 original.
Oh,
as in, like, it takes away?
As in, the final boss is literally the same shape as the final boss of P5 in terms of the fight and operates similarly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is it still Christmas?
No.
Oh.
But feels like the end of P5 Strikers feels rushed, I guess. But like everything else is consistently just great with the writing and the characters, because the whole idea is the people that we are encountering here aren't 100% irredeemable pieces of garbage. They are people who have done bad things, and they are traumatized people. That doesn't excuse why they did the bad things that they did, but it does explain it, and we can maybe set them on a better path, and they can atone and redeem themselves. Which I find to be a interesting sort of turn, and several of the characters kind of that you encounter help expand on the character arcs of your party members. Like Haru especially gets a character that is helps expand on her, which she very much needed.
Oh boy, did she.
Yeah.
And yeah. Overall,
is Haru less annoying?
Yes, she's great.
Okay.
It's an ongoing in joke where somebody says, "That's our beauty thief," and she says, "Beauty thief," and then poses.
Let me rephrase the question. Does she still talk like this all the time?
That's how her voice works. So yeah, probably.
I mean, that's how her voice works. But like, she's fun. to have around. I like having her, and she's fun to play as.
Okay.
Because she has an axe, and when you hold down triangle at the end of your combo, she gets additional effects. Like she bashes the axe down again and again and again and again. And she has a grenade launcher, which is very fun in an action game to just fire that away into crowds of enemies. So, yeah, all the characters are fun to play. My favorite is one of the new party members that joins you, which I think was already shown in the trailer. So, codename Wolf. And the way Wolf works is Wolf has a great sword, and Wolf has a special mode that he enters in which he begins to take damage over time, but all of his attacks are now powered up significantly. And if you master him enough, you get to the point where not only are all of his attacks super powered and hit everything, but they also now have the almighty element.
Oh, okay.
So they bypass all resistances and drains and whatever. And then when he undoes his like blood rage state, he can use specials to restore his own HP. So a very fun character, very dangerous character to use, but very fun. And yeah, I recommend that game. I know I've been going for a while, but we had the final battle of my D&D game that's been going on for 3 years.
Yay.
Sweet.
I was so nervous, but everybody loved it. I tied everything up together. They went and they fought a god. Used a thing to make the god actually able to be fought. And then the party had a very tough fight on their hands, but they managed to succeed. And after the god was dead, somebody had to take the god's place. And the party member who decided to do that was one of my friends who had to drop out. He was one of the first players in the game, but he had to drop out early on. And he came back over and over again to try to get back in, but overall he just couldn't because schedules just never worked out. But he made sure to have time to come back for the final session.
That's
And
good.
his character was the one who originally broke the ice in the first session and was the first character to start talking and get everyone talking because everybody's so nervous. Because everybody's first D&D game, and that was my first time DMing
Yeah.
a full
That can be
game like
pretty
that.
Intimidating.
And so his character was the one who went and got the godhood so that everybody else could live the rest of their stories and have their own epilogues. It was a very nice ending.
Sweet.
But next session is just the epilogue, and then after that, I'm only going to be DMing one game from now on instead of 2.
Yay, free time.
Aren't you going to be a player in one of them as well?
All right. So the way it currently works is I DM 2 games, and I'm a player in a third game. One of those games is bi-weekly, and the game it switches off with is the game that I play in.
Ah.
So what's going to be happening is I'm going to be moving my one game that I DM to the weekly slot, and then somebody else wants to DM on a bi-weekly basis. So I'll be playing in 2 games, but DMing in 1, which is significantly less stressful.
Yeah.
Free time.
It means I can focus all my efforts on the game that takes place in my own original world. Yay. I get to write stuff and prepare stuff. But yeah. I think that's it for me. home alone, taking care of my dog.
Yeah. Not naked.
Not naked.
Oh.
Very specifically.
I have my colon.
It's good to know.
Yeah, I don't know where to go from there. Slicer, how's it go?
Hey, I went on vacation, like a proper actual vacation. So
Lucky.
that was cool. Yeah. Helped by the fact that my friend was honestly paying for most of it. I paid for my flight. I tried to chip in for gas as much as I could, but a birthday present to me was that she covered the food cost, so that was nice. Went to the Grand Canyon, Zion. I had an elk burger. The Grand Canyon was really trippy because it's so far across that, and as you're walking across along it, it looks like a JPEG, like it doesn't move in your vision because it's so far across.
It's like there's parallax going on.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, honestly, it was just a really fun time. It was really enjoyable. When I was younger, I never really saw the benefit of traveling. It's like I could spend $1,000 on this, or I could do anything I can think of with $1,000. But yeah, I definitely see the benefit more now. So that was a really nice change.
It heals your soul after a year and a half of quarantine.
Yeah, especially considering I'm having hip surgery in a month and a half, and I'm going to be stuck in my room for 4 months. So, yeah, that's not going to be great. So I have this as kind of a, not quite last hurrah, because it's a month and a half, but definitely a time where I'm not going to be able to do anything that doesn't involve sitting down and not moving. Let's see. I already talked about The Winter Soldier. It was a decent show. Definitely recommend checking it out if you had any hesitancy about it. Because I probably wasn't going to watch it, but I was hanging out with someone who did want to, so that kind of gave me that push. I'm trying to think of any topics I can talk about quickly or sum up, but I tried to, when I was at Zion, I tried to mentally map in my head and compare it to the, what is it, Lost Hearts, Broken Hearts DLC in Fallout 3 or New Vegas?
Honest Hearts.
New Vegas. That's it. But I didn't see enough of Zion to really do that very well. So I cannot actually say if they did a good job doing one-to-one like they did with DC in Fallout 3 or not. It's a crazy beautiful place though. See, honestly, I think that's about it. Really, that was most of my time was just a lot of driving. It was like 6 hours minimum of driving every day. The unfortunate reality of someone else planning your vacation and how you do it is that if someone wants to travel and pack in a lot of things, there's a lot of travel time associated with it. So if you don't really like driving, but someone else doesn't really care, yeah, you're going to be in the car a lot if they have more control than you do. Oh, well. We got to see a lot, though, so there was that. Oh, I also drove through Vegas. We didn't stop, because it's Vegas.
Okay.
But I was very amused. To find out that the Trump Tower is the ugliest building in Vegas.
Of course it is.
On this strip, it is
the ugliest building everywhere.
It is straight up the gaudiest. It is the gaudiest thing on the entire horizon in Vegas, which is known for being outlandish.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So, it's impressive in its own way.
It is. Honestly, it was just this giant.
He can say he has the most something, which he likes to do. So.
Yeah. So, yeah, just this giant gold rectangle. Not great looking. Yeah, that's it. I believe that's it.
Casey, did you do anything of note?
I fucking
At all?
worked.
Oh,
What do you think I did?
I do have
Hmm?
I do have one last thing actually. While I was on vacation, I was talking to one of the guys to keep him awake because he was a driver, and he told me about a Elder Scrolls mod for Civilizations 5, and so it adds the map of Elder Scrolls and a bunch of civilizations from it, and it's pretty good, honestly. The civilizations seem to act like they actually are, like the Imperials act like Imperials in that every 5 turns they'll tell you how shit they are, or you are, and demand something from you because they're the Imperials and they want control. So it's pretty fun, honestly. I definitely recommend it. I think it's just it's like Elder Scrolls Realm or something like that. It's pretty easy to find in the mod menu.
Oh, I'll tell you what I did do. I did actually do things. I played video games for like an hour. Stardew Valley. I played that for like a few hours when I had a moment. As like a breather, and that's, you know, as fine as it ever was. Nothing wrong with it. It's great. I did buy a new game, which is Satisfactory, which I played for about half an hour because I was sleepy and couldn't. It's a game that you probably should have a lot of focus dedicated to, and that was not something I had after I bought and downloaded it. But it looks cool and stuff. It just had a big update and stuff. Sorry?
What was it called? What's the name of this game?
Satisfactory.
Oh, I thought you were describing it. Okay.
No, that's the name of the game. It's about building, well, a factory, more or less. You know, gather resources, build facilities, more efficient ways to harvest resources, and build better facilities that can craft things into different things that can harvest resources, the more impressive and useful, and etc. You know how it goes. It's Minecraft with an automation kind of bent to it. I guess. Only a lot prettier than Minecraft. Yeah. So that looked pretty cool for the half hour I played it. I watched the stream of the developers showing off the update, and they apparently there were a bunch of mini games that people have built and put together for them to just, you know, have a go of, which looked. It basically reminded me of the wacky shit that Achievement Hunter would used to do with Minecraft, where they would build like obstacle courses and shit.
So it's been a long time since it's something like that.
I wouldn't know. I just remember the good old days.
Fair.
Well, let's not get into that. So yeah, that was. I don't know. Maybe that'd be cool. I was gonna play some Shipbreaker, the one where you basically cut apart spaceships in zero gravity and stuff, and you can explode by accident and stuff. I was gonna play that, but apparently they've got an update coming that will reset the progress on the game for everybody. So I'm like,
oh,
well, I don't really want to play then, do I? If I'm just gonna have everything reset anyway. So.
Oh wait, hold up.
Yeah, because they're completely changing up the progression of stuff and adding more. They're fleshing out the actual story of the game, so they need to reset everything.
Hey, guess what?
What?
March 31st is the launch of the new Among Us map, the
Cool.
airship.
I played that game once. It was very fun. I have not played it since.
I figured out in my friend group we figured out how to do it with proximity chat. It was very fun.
Was it hard to get set up?
It took a little bit of figuring out, but once I had it, we were able to run multiple games with it with no problem. Like one person has to create like an instance server, and then everybody connects individually to that server by putting in the code through the mod. But once you kind of get the hang of it, it's just like, all right, drop this code in. Just have crew link up, or better crew link in this case, up when you join the lobby in Among Us, and then you'll be automatically connected to proximity chat through that instead of like Discord or something.
Oh, okay.
And I assume it
has a
like
few bugs.
separates you for like crew meetings and stuff, so the alive people are on one side and the dead people are on the other.
It automatically does that. So the alive people can't hear the dead people. But you can do a fun thing where outside of meetings, the killer can hear the dead people.
Oh, damn. Okay.
That sounds fun. That sounds like right for spooky ghost voices.
So you can just haunt the person who killed you.
Son of a bitch.
It does a little voice modulator on when you talk, so it sounds real ghosty.
Oh,
That's amazing.
And then there's like another option where imposters can talk to each other and have private conversations if they're both an event.
Oh. Okay, that's really good.
So it's a lot of fun. That was like better crew link that I got, but just a mod you download, you kind of watch a video, kind of understand how it goes, and that's a ton of fun being able to do that. So I'm looking forward to the airship because it has the option for you to start in different rooms, so you can choose your starting point. So very excited. Lots of new stuff in that. It's weird because when I'm teaching kids, every single kid, regardless of age group, knows what Among Us is. Every single one.
I'm not super surprised to hear that.
The kids go out at recess and it's like, do you want to play Among Us? And they played like a pretend Among Us game.
Oh boy.
With poorly defined rules.
Well, yeah.
Of course, the most poor.
And at one point I was like, okay, here's how we're gonna play our Among Us game, kids. You're gonna do tasks, and you guys are each gonna close your eyes, and the person whose shoulder I like tap, you're the imposter. The kids.
That sounds fair. Yeah.
And then it was just really funny. These kids are just stuck with having to wear masks all day and having to be social distance. So, I mean, you don't really. It's not like you're playing tag where you have to touch each other.
I'm glad they're able to do something fun and inventive, honestly.
Yeah.
Anything else that happened this week or the last week?
I'm just feeling really weird about this whole thing that we're doing for this past year. Now that it's finally almost seeming to be at an end. Because the vaccines are going out, everyone's getting vaccinated, and it's going to be really hard to push social distancing protocols and stuff once everyone's vaccinated and are as safe as they could reasonably be from that. And it's just fucking
Yeah.
trying to look back on everything that's gone on for the past year. It's just really weird and surreal. It's just kind of hitting me now for some reason. Mostly because...
It's been hitting me this entire time.
Yeah, because Zero literally talked about, yeah, these kids are wearing masks and having to deal with this shit, and you mentioned touching them on the shoulder.
Not with my hand.
Oh, right. Okay. That's less weird, but, you know, in like a month or two, you know, that's probably optimistic, but you would probably be able to actually do that without anyone freaking out and firing you. Or possibly charging you with endangering children, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not actually like physically touching them with my hand, you know. Grab a stick. Or something, you know?
Yeah. It's a weird time. I hate it. And I want it to be done, and it almost is, and that's probably why I'm feeling it all the more. Looking forward to going to the shop. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
It's a weird... There is a lady that works in like the nearest supermarket to me who has asthma. And she's an essential worker, so she's still working, as far as I'm aware. And the last time I went to that supermarket, she offered to hold back some toilet paper for me, because this was at the beginning of the pandemic when everyone was freaking the fuck out and buying all the toilet paper like morons. But yeah, she offered to do that and stuff, and that was cool. And I haven't been outside since, and I'm just kind of hoping she's okay. Barely know her from Adam, but it's just a thing I thought about now and again.
That's fair. Yeah, I was really confused on the flight, both of them. On the right and left side of the plane, there were 2 seats, an aisle of 2 seats, and in the middle, there was 3. And so you'd think that they would shut down 1 aisle on each side, and then 1 aisle down the middle. No, they kept the sides untouched, and they just took away the middle seat. So people were still cram-packed in there. I was lucky enough that both times I was sitting next to someone who also worked in the medical industry, so they were vaccinated already. But yeah, it's just jarring how different industries treat it.
So that sobering moment done with. Fuck. Seriously, that really did just creep up on me just now. Yeah, so I guess that's a podcast.
Don't let it set in.
And stuff. Yeah, this is cool. Outside sounds fun. Of course, it'll be summer, which means I still can't fucking go outside. But yeah, so the Discord's public. You can the link in the description. Patreon, same. We appreciate it. Yeah, you guys rock. People that actually listen to the show. Also, like, even if you're not on the Discord or on the Patreon and you still hang out, it's cool. Appreciate that too.
Thank you kindly.
Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.